Okay, test run. We might want this up here so that we can see our initials.
The sunglasses.
And I'm going to stop using the mouse so that it stops bringing up the box. So we still need Rachel's literature review, and then Amber, I would write some notes on this so that you can just talk more about it. I like how it's set up. I like that it's simple, but you could say a lot more than just what's written to fill some time. This one's good. It is a little bit squished on here, so I wonder if we can minimize some of the words. I don't know. Or use more icons. But it is nice to have it on here because this is a pretty good sum of the entire project or the study. Okay. I don't know what else you would be able to say on this besides what's already there. Maybe talk a little bit about this. Which people had indoor outdoor runs consistently, and maybe those that switched back and forth like me. Could talk a little bit about this and maybe your hip problem, or if anyone wants to talk about anything with that, we could. I'm just going to go through the whole thing, make sure it looks good in the recording. And it's nice because I don't know if you can see up here, this might just be on my screen, I don't know, but up here on the recording I can see a timer, so I can see that we've been going for 4 minutes, so that's pretty nice. I'm gonna check to make sure that we can also save this recording.
That's why I wanted to play it before this one comes out.
This is pretty good looking, you guys.
But apparently it's like quite a bit
Yeah,
older.
that's great.
So it's like sweet.
So yeah, Amber, on this one you could talk all about why we would have given these two questions more weight, because feedback and goal setting was the main intervention. These two got weighted more than the last two because we had to do something like this in order to fulfill one of these two. And then you could talk about how these two weren't necessary, but they facilitated, and we made sure that they were done on a regular basis because we understood that they would help. You could even talk about how maybe this was something that we took into our own hands that they didn't do in the original study, but that we thought was necessary. And then you could even talk about, if you want, if we feel like we need to spill some time, tell them that we can put 12 in here and that it came up with a percentage on its own. The Excel spreadsheet was set up that way. You could talk about how originally we had weekly goals that were set here, and during intervention 1 we broke it down into daily or session miles per session. And then you could talk about how we had here not just one date but a an interval. I don't know if that's the right word, but a week long. Here, you could also talk about the fact that we had pretty darn high fidelity. Only 3 scores fell below 80% out of 19 different scores. I should probably check on the number because I'm not sure if it's completely true. I did it kind of fast, but yeah, so the lowest score was 50. The mean or the mode was 100%. Almost all of our scores got 100%, but 3 of them scored below 80. And even though we didn't really do booster sessions where we reminded each other how we needed to do it, that was something in our paper that we said we would do, so I don't know if we want to mention it. Something else you could talk about? So Rachel's slides. We need to get that done. These would be our graphs, and I would suggest maybe doing up close all of the criterion ones, all the criterion charts, up close separately, or since that was technically the intervention too, maybe you could do that one second. I just don't know how you're going to put the multiple baseline design charts here and not have it way zoomed out like the last group. Theirs was really hard to read. Oh, and I also think that we need to make sure that our X and Y axis are legible. Theirs wasn't the last group. I'll talk about this. But I do feel like we almost need some more visuals. Because personally, they're going to be listening to us, but not really reading this. I feel like for our presentation, even though this is important information that's going to help me remember, I don't think anyone listening to me during this slide is actually going to be reading anything. So I might add some more visuals, kind of like Amber's. And then we need to make sure we have all of our references. And then I hit this button. Okay.
That's like a state.
Now I need to make sure I can stop sharing. Oh, stop sharing. Dirt. Okay. Now I'm going to try and save this and send it to you guys if I can. Our professor did not get on with me. I'm the only participant in here. I emailed her back and said, hey, did you not get my time? I emailed her through Canvas with Keisha, and she didn't ever respond, so I kind of took it as a yes. She was going to meet me today, but she didn't. So I also sent her an email with the Zoom link and the meeting time and everything, so we will see if it even happens. I really hope it does because I wanted to ask her, but I am at least glad I figured out how to get it to record. If any of you have any problems with Zoom, I found out that downloading the desktop version helped me. So I also noticed that it made my little video icon go down into the corner. And I moved it up into this corner so that we would be able to see our initials.